Three students who just returned from a mission trip to East Africa caused Ebola scares at their Rogers County High School.
Reports circulated on social media about the students returning to Inola High, and that raised the fears of their classmates, even though these students were on the opposite side of the African continent from those three West African nations that are seeing the Ebola epidemic. As News on 6 reporter Tony Russell found out, there is really no cause for alarm, Tony.
Yes, Scott, the Inola School Superintendent says 18 students didn't show up for classes today because of the rumors. The superintendent says those three students are being monitored by nurses just as a precaution, but wants to stress that these students never came into contact with anyone or anything associated with the deadly virus.
You have to respond with facts rather than just the fear, and I think that's what's happening.
Rumors started circulating through social media when parents in the Inola School District learned three students would be returning from a mission trip to Ethiopia last week. Dr. Ken Holbrook says rumors the students were exposed to the Ebola virus are just false.
Our students were not exposed to Ebola. There was no person that was sick on the trip. There was no person sick in Ethiopia while they were there. There was no person sick on the plane.
Ethiopia isn't anywhere near the countries in Western Africa where people have contracted the deadly virus. Dr. Holbrook says the three students were screened by officials when they re-entered the United States and were cleared to come to school.
They just said, "Where have you been?" They told them Africa, what part? They said Ethiopia and said, "You're clear." There's never been a case of Ebola out of there.
TJ Helling is the youth pastor who helped organize the mission trip for the students.
Amazing students, just willing to give up their time, their energy, their money, their fall break to go and serve others.
Helling's heart is broken over the students being singled out because they went to Africa.
They did more in the last 10 days than most people do in their lifetime for other people. And we need to remember that we're here to encourage them and support them, not beat them down.
And the Broken Arrow School District also had to deal with their fears of the Ebola virus. They learned that some students and parents were on that same cruise ship as that Texas healthcare worker who was handling those vials of Ebola. Now remember, that healthcare worker, her test showed up negative for the virus, but the Broken Arrow School District responding to parents saying the CDC has cleared the students and faculty to return to school, but as a precaution, the district is keeping them home until they have written verification from the CDC. Tony Russell, News on 6.